Right, I'm gonna try and do a quick video on because I've been asked a lot on sourcing your chemicals. Now, I won't get into detail on what chemicals, and I'm not going to give you direct sources because I'm breaking the law today. Um, Forgive me if I'm a bit slow and strange. These red sunglass things I've got on are for me going out tonight, but they make everything fucking red, so it's a bit... holy fuck, it's a bit weird. Anyways, where were we? Fuck yeah, I'm distracted by this shit. Drug sources. Right, so depending on how you want to do this, there's obviously two main ways of drug sources. There's the well, free if you're smart enough. There's the interwebs. There is real life, obviously, well, day-to-day life, the street kind of thing, going for a dealer. And then there's manufacture. I can't really talk too much about the manufacture side because it's very illegal. But basically, you know, if you want to have a lot of something legal stuff too, you know, you can get your glassware and all your shit, and you can get your chemicals, your reagents, and your pressure cookers, your distillers, and all of that nonsense. And you know, you can make your chemicals, you can get condensers and everything, now the Mayors. Shit tons of fucking sodium hydroxide, it seems to be involved with everything, the sodium hydroxide for basifying stuff. But yeah, so there's a manufacturer, but I'm not going to go into it too much, as I said. And then there's the street route. So, with your sources on the street route, the best way to get stuff is through people who already know people, rather than to find people off the street that you don't know. So, you are best off finding people who already take drugs and finding out where their sources are coming from. You don't want to find people who take drugs a little bit, you want to find absolute wreckheads who take different drugs all the time, because they will know if the shit they're buying is any good. Whereas the people who don't take drugs very often don't take it enough to understand really if it's any good or not. They'll just take whatever and hope that it's the right thing. Another thing with buying drugs off the street is you want to know your price before you buy the shit, if possible. You want to make sure you're buying exactly what you've been told you're buying. Look at the product before you fucking walk off, because they could just sell you a baggie with any fucking random powder in it, or you just sell you a bunch of fucking herbs and tell you it's weed if you don't look at your fucking baggie. So that's a little tip there right off the bat. Another thing is, with dealers, unless you know them quite well or you know the area, don't just let them fucking walk off away from you when you give them money. Like, wait till you get your product before you give them the fucking money. Because, for example, like Manchester, London, Leeds, Stalybridge, fucking Adelaide, out in the US, even Caribbean, you'll meet people and they'll say, oh, I'll get you this, blah blah blah. You walk through the fucking centre of town with them, and they'll either fucking mug you, or they'll just fucking walk off because they know the place, and then that's your fucking money gone. So yeah, be careful with dealers. Inspect your product. Give them the money after you've got your product. Best going through people who are well established. Best going to dealers who aren't like gangsters, but rather dealers who are quite well set up, don't want to get caught and know what they're doing and know what they're selling, kind of thing. People with good reputation is who you want if you're buying off dealers. Other things to think of when you're buying on the streets is, where are you buying your shit? Who is the dealer? Is the dealer actually an undercover cop? And when you're buying off the street, are you in a fucking safe, familiar neighbourhood? Or in a fucking ghetto somewhere? Like, for example, I wouldn't want to go through parts of Brixton that I don't know and buy a deal off someone I don't know, because there's fucking police heat, and there's also a chance that I'm just going to get fucked over because I don't know where the fuck I am, and it's a pretty rough area. Same with being in certain parts of Brooklyn and buying shit. Like, you're fucking kidding me? I don't know Brooklyn, I don't know New York that well. I've been there, but I don't know it well enough to fucking just buy a deal off someone like that. So that's the kind of thing you got to think of when you're buying shit off the street. Now, sourcing stuff online is a completely different kind of criteria. There are two kind of supplies of this. There's all the stuff on Tor browsers and on Onion and stuff like that. Onion links, that kind of stuff, where you buy everything on bitcoins, and if you've got the chance to buy it off through Tor and with bitcoins, that's a great idea if you understand encryptions and such. The only thing with buying off the deep web is it's easy to get scammed, so you have to know who you're buying off by online reputation, and you've got to be prepared to take some level of risk. However, what I'll say for the deep web is when you're not scammed, the products are amazing, and they're quite cheap off that part of the interwebs really. So they're a good place to go. The only problems with that is you just don't know who you're dealing with, and also it's Bitcoin is not got the best reputation for being a stable currency as such, although I think they're taking steps to make changes to that. So yeah, you've got that part of the interwebs, and then you've got the normal interwebs, where, for example, there are companies, say, in the Netherlands that you can buy stuff off, and there are companies, say, in India that you can buy things from, and companies, say, in Poland, and they'll sell all kinds of stuff, legal, illegal, just anything really. All kinds of chemicals get sold through the main part of the internet. There's a few problems with that. That is that you can't trust the purity of the product. If you're buying illegal stuff, customs could seize it, or they just might not sell you it, they might report you, etc, etc. A few other things to consider when buying stuff off the main internet is, so there are ways of finding out. You can do searches on different sites, specific sites, to find out if they're legit or if they're a scam. You can ask people on forums such as Blue Light and research chemicals online and stuff. Like, I can't really think of all the forums off the top of my head because I'm a bit fucking distracted by these glasses. But there are a lot of different research chemical forums for people who are in that community. Blue Light is a pretty prolific one. Erowid is one. I know Reddit has a sub-forum and communities that do that. There's 420chan as well, which is a lot of things about drugs. So asking there about your suppliers and such will both help you find legitimate suppliers and weed out ones who are illegitimate, and also let you know what different suppliers are selling what different merchandise essentially. So that's a good way of finding out through the internet. There are a lot of places where you can ask for different things and such. So yeah, there are a lot of places online that will tell you about a lot of places online. Be careful with shill posts. So like when you're online on a website, particularly fucking Chinese and Indian websites, be really careful if you have dealings with Chinese. You seem to get like loads of posts saying, oh, this is a great product, really reliable vendor, this, that and the other, or you know, this is the most fantastic product, best quality price, etc, etc. Now these posts are either made by the website themselves or they're moderated posts. For example, say I were to make a site that sells socks, and all my socks are shite, but I sell them anyway, and people do reviews. It's up to me to approve those reviews because I'm the site owner and the site moderator. So all the shit reviews I can just toss to one side and say I'm never putting those up. But if some idiot puts up a review that's great, I can put that review through. Also, I can just make reviews. It's my goddamn website. I can just make up loads of reviews in different names. So never trust the site's reviews. Trust reviews of different sites about that site. And also, when you're on drug forums, also remember that the site owners themselves might make profiles on some of these forums to make more complex shill posts, and that's a bigger problem. But you know, you'll start to find out as you see. Another thing is you get some suppliers who the website's just crap, the text is crap, the prices are extremely good, and they're asking for Western Union and such. It's too good to be true, and it looks too good to be true because it just is too good to be true a lot of the time. So don't get caught by oh wow, that looks really cheap, it's worth giving a go, because most likely it's not worth giving a go. You just lose a lot of money for no reason. Now, my warnings about the Chinese, and somewhat the Indians, but mainly the Chinese. The Chinese can be either the best people to buy from or the worst people to buy from. Problems you have with buying from China, and I don't give a fuck what anyone says, but oh, you can't talk about Chinese like that. It's nothing to do with fucking any individual Chinese person, it's to do with Chinese companies on the internet. Have a habit of saying we can do this for this price. You give them the money and they either send you a shit product or they say we want more money, or the Chinese can fuck you around a lot. They have a habit of scamming a hell of a lot, and they'll try and get as much money as they can. They'll tell you that it's to do with customs, to do with external customs, internal customs, lost in a post. They'll give you every damn thing, and then they'll say that their customs are saying that it's an illegal produce to sell. They'll try and threaten you any way they can. Chinese are not the best to buy from unless you solidly know the supplier and have a lot of people who can back up their reputation, and I mean in real life, not on the internet, because the Chinese suppliers are pretty fucking smart. However, some of the Chinese suppliers are really, really good. Not very many of them, but some of them are. They can be expensive, but I have bought from Chinese companies amazing things before for, you know, prices that I deemed worth it. But for me, I just don't do business with the Chinese. They always ask for Western Union. Western Union on its own is generally a dodgy way of buying stuff. Best way is usually through bank transfers in terms of whether they're a legit company, and the best way of buying is through Bitcoin for your own sort of personal protection. But if they offer Bitcoin, Litecoin, and say bank transfers and credit card options, then they're probably a fairly legitimate company to start with. They might have crappy products, but you know, they'll probably be legitimate as a company, in intention at least. So yeah, there's a few sourcing tips. And another tip is on testing your products. So you can buy loads of different like reagents that'll change different colours depending on whether something's like, for example, a tryptamine, a phenethylamine, or a specific chemical, for example. But it's not necessarily doable with everything. Like some kits only test for certain things with certain functional groups from a phenethylamine group. Like some things that test whether it's MDMA could also have a false reading for, say, like MDAI and such, or MDA, for example. So they're not entirely reliable as such. There's another way to get through this if you really want to find out if a product is what it is you can get it GCMS tested online through a bunch of different sites. You send a sample to them, and for a price they'll GCMS test it. There's some drug research companies and sort of pro-drug enthusiast companies and laboratories that might do it for free depending on what the chemical is. I think there's a few that do ecstasy tests for free, and there are some festivals and shit that have people who go around testing drugs for free as well. So yeah, there are ways of testing your things, and yeah, you should ask for CAS, for like the CAS number. You should ask for the GCMS analysis sheets to see if they've done a spectral analysis, and see if the company that says it's done it and the batch numbers match to anything in the real world, or if it's just, again, just paperwork. It's bullshit. Some better companies come with safety data sheets and full analysis sheets and such. So yeah, you can get some pretty cool shit. Anyways, that's my video on sourcing. I probably left a few things out just because I've only got 15 minutes to make my videos at a time, and yeah, my brain's a bit scatty. But yeah, that was my sourcing video. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.